let's go to Dubai. And then it was like, are you in, bro? Are you in? Are you in? Are you in? Everybody's in.
Said in, like,
People will lose trust in you.
Yeah.
The biggest pain is sacrifice. Staying with Ayush is as good as staying alone. There are some things that you can't throw money and get. One of those things is a great software. So the joke is, जब मैंने ये स्टोरी सुनाया तो आयुष और दिग्विजय सामने बैठे थे, तो आयुष और दिग्विजय ने बोला कि ब्रो 150 रुपए में कितने काजू आते हैं? तो मैंने बोला 4 काजू आते हैं.
Ever since I was a kid, I was fascinated by cars and technology. मेरी content creation की journey actually ऐसे शुरू हुई थी कि मैं tech review करता था, phones review करता था, and बचपन से मैं बहुत ही ज़्यादा fascinated हूँ by car. MG ZS EV is a fascinating car. I'm so glad that MG sponsored this episode because I've been looking forward to working with an automobile brand for the longest time, and this car is the perfect car for the kind of shoot that we have today, and it is such a comfortable one. We had an incredible experience shooting in the MG ZS EV. The comfort, the ride quality, the overall sustainability that EVs promote at large is incredible. सारे के सारे features हैं. There's an amazing panoramic sunroof, the seats, the overall luxurious feel, and oh man, the power of an EV, it is amazing. MG जो EV is living बोलता है, I think I can easily live very nicely with an EV. And so that this episode is very special for you, we have Ganesh Prasad today, who is the co-founder of Think School. And this episode, oh man, it was an incredible episode. And I don't mean it just because I want you to watch it. I genuinely think you will draw a lot of value. मेरा और गणेश का बहुत ही अलग side निकल के आया इस episode के अंदर. So I hope you like the episode and make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out MG's ZS EV. It is amazing. Welcome to the Front Seat Show powered by MG. We are doing this for the very first time, which is a car podcast. हमने गलती से शायद podcast का नाम Front Seat रख दिया था, and we thought that it should be done in a car. And I've loved cars since I was a kid. So I think this is a good. I think होना चाहिए था. This was written. This was meant to be. You know what I want to do? We have already done a podcast. We have talked about content creation. We have talked about so many things. मैं जब सवाल लिख रहा था ना इस पॉडकास्ट के, तो मैंने कहा यार मुझे थोड़ा अलग पॉडकास्ट करना है भाई. ऐसे I want to dive a little deeper into who you are as a person, because I feel it shapes a lot. Who you are as a person shapes how you build the company a lot.
True.
And that's something which I wanted to do in this podcast.
The last time we did a podcast, we were at 196K.
Oh yes.
तेरे को याद है?
हाँ.
So we were at, and we were like, and you were asking me this question, like, so how does it feel to be at 200K?
How does it feel to be at 4 million now, collectively or not?
4 million. Pretty good.
Crazy,
bro, of course.
Across channels तो 4 million plus हो गए.
हाँ, across channel तो 4 million हो गया. तो मजा तो बहुत आ रहा है. तब 200K में बहुत ही अलग perspective था, bro. Towards content, towards everything else, you know. Back then I was like an artist, but now I'm like thinking as a business. So there's a drastic change in the mindset from just an artist to now a business content creator who now has set up systems that can create equally great pieces of art or perhaps even better.
Bro, तुझे याद है, I was cycling, I remember very vividly. तेरा call आया था, like 300 के hit हो गए भाई. And I remember you were the joy of hitting 300K, and now you're sitting at a 10x jump. It's crazy. और पता है, honestly at that point I still looked at you as a creator. I mean, we became friends over time. I think एक चीज, one thing in our friendship I've seen is ऐसे month over month जैसे companies नहीं grow करती 10% month over month growth.
Correct.
I've seen that happening in us, and especially by that Spotify event changed everything. So for context, Ganesh was based out of Pune, and Ganesh is from Pune. And I really wanted to spend time with him, and I told him कि भाई, there are too many networking opportunities in Bombay, please come. And Ganesh being Ganesh, he's like, नहीं, मुझे बहुत मजा आता है पुणे में. I love making my videos, I love building, I don't wanna. And I somehow pushed him to come.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I'll only come to meet you. I don't know how true that was.
That is true. That is 100% true. I did not want to meet anyone because I was just very happy in my bubble. And then I finally came to meet him because it had been about a year since we were speaking, and we had spoken for like hours, 4-hour calls, and
बहुत लंबी चलती थी हमारी बातें.
Yeah. फोन कट हो जाता था फिर 1.5 घंटे बाद.
ओह शिट, तो पता है हमें कैसे पता चलता था कि हम बहुत ज्यादा बात कर चुके हैं? क्योंकि आई थिंक मेरे इसके फोन में 90 मिनट का कट ऑफ था कि अगर 90 मिनट से ज्यादा बात करो तो फोन ऑटोमेटिकली गेट्स कट।
करेक्ट।
ओह मैन।
तो उसके बाद मैं बोला कि नहीं ब्रो, इसको तो मिलना ही पड़ेगा, एंड दैट्स हाउ आई मेड इट टू द स्पॉटिफाई इवेंट, एंड देन we met amazing friends, we both made amazing friends, and then Dubai happened at the Spotify event itself. We decided that then and there itself, right, while having food, let's go to Dubai. And then it was like, are you in bro, are you in, are you in, are you in? Everybody
said in like anything. That was
10 minutes
incredible.
It took us 10 minutes to plan that trip, right?
Yeah, I think so Dubai was the NAS Summit trip, essentially creators conference हो रहा था। हमने कहा हम सब creator हैं, देख के आते हैं कि ऑन अ ग्लोबल स्केल क्या हो रहा है। भाई मुझे लगता है जो हमारा आज ग्रुप बना है जो, आई थिंक दैट्स बिकॉज ऑफ दीस टू इवेंट्स।
करेक्ट, बिकॉज ऑफ द दुबई इवेंट, या
एंड देन हम सारे somehow we went to Dubai, but amazing bro. I have a set of questions for you, तो एकदम
fingers crossed. So the reason why I'm saying fingers crossed is because yesterday we were watching this movie called The Old Dads, where there were three very silly friends who started this company, sold this company to a bigger company, and they were just in this process of handover. और तब ये तीन दोस्त कार में मिलके बहुत ही कैंसिल होने वाली बातें करते हैं, और उसके बाद वो फुटेज लीक हो जाता है, एंड देन they are left with nothing.
वैसे ही फीलिंग आ रहा है। And you know, I'll tell you what, I think all of us are extremely serious, passionate and disciplined about our work.
Yeah.
मतलब हम कितना भी chill करके आए, अगले दिन we get up, and I don't think this is anything to brag. Every entrepreneur has to be disciplined, has to be this disciplined. But I've seen that the moment we turn off our laptop and our I think I am a very goofy person when I am with you guys.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is कि यार आयुष तो बहुत ज़्यादा serious है, which I am. I think 95% of the times, but that 2-3-5% of the times when I am with you guys, it's a very different story.
Same bro, same.
पहले तो मुझे जानना है, is there really a moat? यार आज एक कोई स्टार्टअप एक प्रोडक्ट निकालता है, 10 स्टार्टअप कॉपी कर लेते हैं, and then suddenly it becomes a Me Too product. Correct. Similarly, when I look at you, what is Think School's moat? What is so special in Think School, right? Like, of course, there's you, but beyond that, what is your moat? And just break this down for me कि भाई मतलब moat जैसा कुछ होता भी है या नहीं?
Moat तो definitely होता है bro, and I learned this from Paytm's case study. That, you know, same case, Paytm first launched its own product, and then BharatPay came, PhonePe came, and everybody suddenly had the same products. But in 2020, Paytm ने क्या किया? Paytm figured out this soundbox problem. As in, when you were making payments to your shopkeepers, because there were so many people in a small shop, it was very difficult for him to understand whether you paid or not, right? And that is when Paytm spotted this problem. And just during this time, if you were like a Paytm vendor, a PhonePe agent could just walk in, give you like a 2,000 rupees cashback and convince you to move from Paytm to PhonePe.
Correct.
So all of them were VC funded. All of them were like Me Too products, right? So they were willing to give out incentives for them to shift. So tab Paytm came out with this soundbox, which solved a major problem for all these shopkeepers, where if you paid, the shopkeeper would know whether you paid or not. That's when Paytm soundbox says, Paytm पर 180 रुपए प्राप्त हुए.
Correct.
Right? So everybody thought this is a utility product. But 2 years down the line, people realized that it's not a utility product, it's a retention hook. So when these vendors started using Soundbox, they stuck to the Paytm platform. And as and when the transactions happened, Paytm's algorithm understood how much is that particular retailer making, and the loan eligibility of that retailer started shooting up. So जैसे से transaction होता था, उसका credit worthiness बढ़ता गया, and after a certain point in time, that shopkeeper could avail a low interest loan in a paperless format, without any hassle, within a click of a button.
Interesting.
So Paytm's moat became this loan aggregation business, and the last time I checked, I think they've already given out more than 3,500 crores worth of loans. Okay, I'm talking about, I think, the last 2 months, by the way.
So you're saying the idea to do something which is out of the box was their moat? No.
So, okay, so completing the story, Paytm started distributing the soundbox, and by the time BharatPay and PhonePe started doing so, Paytm had 10x more soundboxes as compared to its competitors. I don't remember the exact number, but there's a staggering difference. I'll put out the chart when I say this. There was a staggering difference. So now if a PhonePe salesman walked into a store and asked the shopkeeper to switch from a Paytm
Correct.
to PhonePe,
वो नहीं करेंगे.
नहीं करेगा. तो ये जो रिटेंशन हुक है ना, ये पेटीएम का मोड बन गया, जिसकी वजह से वो लोन एग्रीगेशन करने लग गया, जिसकी वजह से they were able to disburse thousands of crores worth of loans via their banking
It
partners.
reminds me of an ecosystem, right? जैसे Apple ecosystem बोलते हैं.
Correct. So there's the entry product, retention hook, and then upsell. Upsell is the loan wala thing. So this is a moat, which if I were to just put it in a question, it will be like, what am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing today to leave my competition behind tomorrow? Now coming back to Think School, I don't know what exactly is the moat of Think School. I think the audience will be better to answer this. Because some people tell me that the moat is research. Some people tell me that the moat is oratory. Some people tell me that the moat is the trust that we've built with the audience. Some people tell me it's the subscriber base, because tomorrow if another business channel comes up, it's very difficult to crack YouTube to such an extent that you grow to a 3 million subscriber base. So some people tell me that it's the
Or it's
distribution.
a combination of all this.
Yeah, it's a combination of all this. But what I believe is my moat is my relentless passion to just go out there and find great business case studies. Because I know very few creators who would go on ground and talk to the delivery boys of Zepto to understand how much does he get paid, how much does he deliver, and then combine that with internet information to accumulate that case study. Because bro, मुझे Think School ना ऐसे लेवल पे मेरे को केस स्टडीज बनाने हैं जो ना MBA कॉलेजेस को बीट कर दे. तो वो मुझे लगता है वो मेरा मोटिव, द इंटेंट ऑफ मेकिंग सच ग्रेट बिजनेस केस स्टडीज आई थिंक इज द मोड, एंड मनी इज सेकेंडरी. चाहे मैं कितना भी बिजनेस बोलूं, मेरे लिए सबसे प्राइमरी वही है कि मैं एक ऐसा केस स्टडी प्रेजेंट करूं जो कि एक MBA प्रोफेसर देख के बोले वाओ, आई विश आई कुड फेच दिस काइंड ऑफ स्टडी मटेरियल्स.
I think one thing which ये मतलब आई थिंक हम बहुत ज्यादा रिलेट करते हैं एक दूसरे से. आज सुबह भी बिफोर द पॉडकास्ट वी आर हैविंग दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन ना कि यार अगर कुछ करना है तो बहुत इम्पैक्टफुल करना है.
करेक्ट.
व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड आउट, तो मेरा गोल था यार मैं इसको ऐसे इंडिया का वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट एजेंसीज बनाऊंगा. एंड देन आई रियलाइज द बिगेस्ट ऑफ द एजेंसीज आर प्रोड्यूसिंग वेरी एवरेज रिजल्ट्स.
Correct.
उनके अगर तुम कैंपेन्स देखो, लाइक आई वोंट नेम एनीबॉडी, बट सम ऑफ द बिगेस्ट इंडिपेंडेंट एजेंसीज are producing the same amount of great campaigns, not number of campaigns, but same amount of great campaigns as us. And we are a 50 people team.
करेक्ट.
So I realized कि यार there are two ways to grow now. एक तो भाई मैं 500 और लोग ऐड कर दूं, और I scale within these 50 people, increase our ticket sizes, go really deep into each client, and genuinely solve their problem.
Good versus great, bro. Jim
Good
Collins.
versus great.
Good versus great.
There's a big difference between good companies and great companies. I think what I see the reason I relate with you, और हमारी जो 4 घंटे की फोन कॉल होती थी इसलिए होती थी क्योंकि हम दोनों को बनाना बहुत पसंद है.
करेक्ट.
मतलब आई थिंक किसी ने नहीं सोचा था कि वी वुड बी एबल टू बिल्ड समथिंग ऑफ दिस स्केल एट दिस पॉइंट.
Not at all, bro.
I mean, I dreamt of it, but I didn't think.
Same. And not so fast.
Not so fast.
So, when we were making case studies, I was not focused on anything. Not the production, not my background, nothing. Just create work. कि कोई देखे, Guy Kawasaki बोलता था that your work is great if it is remarkable. As in, people should just look at the work and say, wow.
मजा आ गया से.
Yeah. तो वो feeling मुझे देना था, bro. And I just hope I'm giving that feeling to my audience. That's the one thing that keeps me very insecure, at the same time very on my process
Keeps
for a
us
very
on
long time.
our feet.
Yeah, because I can't tolerate the fact that somebody just looks at my work and says, yeah, this is ordinary. It cannot be ordinary. If Think School makes something, it has to be extraordinary. And when I started to move to Bombay, in the process, we missed out on a lot of schedules. So earlier I was like Tuesday, Friday, I was very disciplined. And because you knew how I was living in a bubble, I was at the process. So after a certain point, we couldn't post 2 videos a week, and videos were ready. But I said, let's not post this. This is mediocre work. It should not go out. So we did not post videos. We lost out on revenue. 20-30% of our revenue came from sponsors. We had to call the sponsors and tell them कि video नहीं जा पाएगा. Not because, and we showed it to our friends and they loved it.
But you weren't satisfied.
No, bro, we were not satisfied, which is why we started posting less. And that still bothers me that we're not posting 8 videos a month, but I'm sure that every video that we're putting out is great work.
Yeah.
And then still the comments disturb me, which say, oh, Think School is not so good anymore. I'm like, bro, do you know the kind of work we are putting in? And we've gone from like 20-30 pages of research to now 300-400 pages of research. तेरे को पता है हमने अफगानिस्तान का एक वीडियो बनाया था.
हाँ.
Okay, that video got demonetized by YouTube because, I don't know, we mentioned 9/11.
Acha.
Bro, we read through 400 pages of US report on Afghanistan
Holy shit.
to make that 15-minute video, which did not get sponsored by any sponsor, by the way,
Really?
which got demonetized by YouTube, but I am still so proud of that work. So, wahi hai, bro, it's a philosophical difference. It costs you a lot of money,
It does, it does.
but I think I would, if
But
I
greatness
comes at a cost.
comes at a cost, and I think not everyone is willing to pay that.
Yeah.
And but हाँ यार, I think to I don't know how do you get there. I mean, maybe 10 years down the line, I would like to believe that both of us we may not be great right now, but we are going towards something that could become great.
True.
I mean, at least that's the motivation I give myself कि भाई मतलब उठ के ऐसा कुछ तोड़ काम करना है, वरना यार point ही क्या है.
Correct. I would not be happy with a lot of money with mediocre work.
Yeah, same. Yeah, so when I look at your brand, right, I think I've told you this multiple times. I feel that Think School as a company, people look at it as a YouTube channel. I know that Think School is a company.
Yeah.
But the brand and the company, both of them, I feel are over dependent on you and your face.
Correct.
How do you plan to de-risk it? Because as an entrepreneur, you have to de-risk it, right?
Yeah. So I don't know how I will de-risk the company from my face, but I am in the process of de-risking the company from me.
As in?
So earlier I used to do everything by myself.
Okay.
Like topic scouting, going on ground, talking to people, conceptualizing, storytelling. Even editing used to be done by me.
Editing also?
Yeah, everything. इसलिए तो 7 दिन लगता था ना bro. So,
Okay.
And 14 hours of work every day. Sometimes it used to stretch up to 60. Very
You
toxic.
used to spend 7 to 8 days on one video.
No, 7 to 8 days on 2 videos.
Acha.
4 days in one video, and 7 to 8 days sometimes we used to miss the schedule.
And I remember this is back in the day, 15 hours of work. ऐसे just पूरे दिन लगे रहो.
Correct. Took a very big toll on my health. I put in like 12 kgs, was not at all sleeping well. Terrible days.
But I also know that the Ganesh Prasad today will not compromise his health for this.
Yeah. So earlier it was so dependent on me. Now, if I get sick, the topic scouting is done by the team because I've told them which 20-30 newspapers to read.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they'll give me a list of 10 to 20 topics. Earlier, it used to take me 1 or 2 days just to scout for topics.
So that part is automated now.
That part is delegated now.
Okay.
The second step is we find out if the topic is concept worth addressing. और ये मैंने बहुत सारे podcast में भी बोला हुआ है. तो मेरी टीम इतनी smart है कि वो पता कर पाएगी कि क्या इसमें concept है. Just because it's trending, we will not take it up. For example, the Israel-Palestine video, we did not take it up because it's trending. We took it up because it's trending. Plus, it had this beautiful geopolitical angle of Iran's involvement in it, Iran-Saudi's conflict in it, and how it would affect the world economy and India. So, because we found that, we said, okay, let's dig deeper into it. So, my team is smart enough to understand which topic has a concept worth addressing.
Bro, I asked you ki over dependency, but even at Owl also, for the longest of the time, I think Owl was very, very dependent on me. I remember we used to discuss, right? Like every single problem at Owl used to be solved by me or used to go through me. And I think that's still the case for a lot of our bigger ticket projects where, you need somebody experienced. But thankfully, I think पिछले 6-7 महीने में one very critical thing that I've realized is, do you remember we sat down one night and we drafted my calendar?
Yeah.
And I had absolutely no breathing room.
34 hours of work every 2 days. So it was 17 hours of work a day.
It was insane and it was not scalable. Now I was working 7 days a week.
Yeah.
If you remember. Now I still work a lot.
I felt it, bro. So this guy right now stays at my place but doesn't talk to me at all. Because every time he's like, oh, blah, 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 bro, get this done. Sending a voice note.
Weekends are better.
Or, let me complete first. And then, or he's at the laptop just talking to his teammates or talking to the client or something. Even in weekends also, it's not like he's chilling out. He's still working. Sometimes he comes out and he spends some time. So, staying with Ayush is as good as staying alone. So... So that's how workaholic he is. It's not it's a bad thing after a certain point, but it's a great thing that you're so obsessed with your work, even when you don't have to, like during the weekends.
Yeah.
So yeah, continue. You're saying something. Over dependency.
No, but that conversation that we had changed me. Because I realized that I have to break down my work and really think, am I needed or not?
Hmm.
And since then,
Hmm.
a good chunk of our P&L is automated now,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, maybe automated is not the right word. You also corrected me. Delegated. I still have to take key decisions as the company CEO. Do I have to give the sign off? But the work is now.
But I still remember every time something got messed up, back then you used to fly all the way from Mumbai to Bangalore just to get that fixed.
Yeah.
Somebody was sick during that day, so you had to fly from Mumbai to Bangalore overnight,
Correct.
and you just booked the flight then and
Correct.
there itself. So that is not the case now, is it?
That is not the case. To a large extent, it's not. And I think our clients are also feeling it because the moment you do this right, your work becomes consistent. If it's only dependent on me, तो जिस project पे आयुष है वो great है, बाकी सब great नहीं है. But now all projects are good,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's a big difference that I felt, which is I looked at my time and divided it into chunks, जैसे तुमने divide करा, right? कि अच्छा मैं what is a think school video? To make a think school video, you have to do incredible research.
Yeah.
You have to figure out whether this topic is think school worthy or not, and you codified the process.
Correct.
कि okay, for a topic to be think school worthy, it has to go through these different criterias.
Correct.
And I think that thinking is so invaluable. It's incredible, and इतना easily नहीं आता है. And especially I think because we are also, I mean, I have started a couple of companies before, but like all those were tiny companies, नाम के companies थे यार, मतलब which I never was able to scale. Right? So we are still very, very young and first time entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We have gotten lucky also, I feel. Like while
Correct.
both of us I know work hard, but there is a good amount of luck that we have lucked out in one way or the other.
True.
But this process of looking, breaking your entire chain down and एक एक करके फिर you know उसको automate.
But tell me something. After you delegated a lot of your work, it's not like your time to Owl has reduced, right? It's just that right now you are focused on new projects,
Correct.
new ways of building different verticals for Owl,
Correct.
as compared to the conventional thinking which says delegation means the founder just chills
Yeah.
and the team, they work their ass off. That's not the case, right?
Not at all. यार so ये ना पता है, I know a lot of people feel कि business का मतलब है कि vacation पे जाना, छुट्टी बनाना and relaxing. I don't think that's the case. अभी Nvidia का जो CEO है, यार he was talking, उससे किसी ने सवाल पूछा कि यार अगर आप फिर से Nvidia आप 30 years के होते हैं and you had the option of doing this, ऐसा कुछ सवाल पूछा, would you do it? Like not at all. Like अगर मुझे पता होता the kind of pains an entrepreneur has to go through, I would never do this.
Correct.
Right? मतलब, well, of course you've been lucky. I think for all the people who are planning to start a company, it is going to like really suck things out of your life and you have to be very passionate about it because a lot of the days are shitty.
Correct. And you know what I say very often is that the most painful thing in entrepreneurship is not the fact that sometimes people will reject you. It's not the fact that sometimes you'll not make money. It's not the fact that people will lose trust in you.
Yeah.
The biggest pain is sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like every time you have to let go that one event, one family event, one friend's wedding, one friend's engagement, that is painful. So if you can just overcome that pain and still be focused at your work and do great work and then bear with all the rejections, then that is when you will become a more seasoned entrepreneur.
If you can get over FOMO, I feel, of anything, especially in your personal life, I think it really matters.
Correct. And we are almost inert towards FOMO.
You know, actually, that brings me to a very interesting point. I'll tell you, right? Work-life balance.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
My parents call me and they're like,
We argue about it a lot.
We argue about it a lot. My parents also are like, you have absolutely no work-life balance.
Yeah.
So here's my point. I think work-life balance is absolute crap. Right? And there is no, and hear me out, right? And I know that this statement can be misconstrued. My point is that you can't come to the house every day at the same time and achieve greatness.
True.
Greatness is sometimes achieved when you sprint for 7 days, and of course you take a break after that. But I feel greatness requires obsession, and obsession doesn't see 7 p.m. on the clock. Obsession doesn't see, oh, Saturday aa gaya, chalo, I'm gonna change my clothes and go party. No. You can go party after you're done with that particular piece of work also.
Yeah.
And you are the opposite. You have been trying to tell me, Ayush, you shut off your laptop at 8 p.m. You close your work. Why are you not here with us? Why are you on your laptop? Yesterday I had a US call.
Yeah.
11:30 p.m. I went. And you're like, Arey, why are you going there?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you are you are building a great company, but I really don't think you can build a great company without being obsessed.
So I'll tell you, first of all, I'm a hypocrite. Okay, मैं बोलता हूँ तुझे कि 7 बजे बंद कर दे, but मैं भी नहीं बंद करता ना 7 बजे.
हाँ, मुझे गाली जरूर देगा.
Right. So, but मैं बैठता हूँ out of choice, and you sit down out of compulsion because you've got meetings, right?
Correct.
So my first complaint is that you should have a choice to shut down your laptop, and when there are people around you, bro, it is very important to make people feel comforted. I'll give you an example. So
And they're not alone.
back then when I was working, yeah, you should not make them feel lonely in spite of your presence. So when I was working a lot, the 14-hour days, during that time, I felt like I made my mom feel alone in spite of she being with me. Okay, you know, my best friend Mayur was just about to leave for the US.
Okay.
And I still remember the exact video that I made during that time. It was about Ireland's education system.
Okay.
Okay. Bro, he had come to my house for 2 days. He stayed with me for 2 days. And both those days, I was writing, scripting, editing the video. And the moment the video went out, he had left. 9 p.m. was the release of the video. 9 p.m. is when Mayur's cab came and then he left. Bro, when he left for the US, I almost cried. Okay, and I promised myself that day, and you know, when he was going by, he told me that, bro, I do not feel good at all. I thought these 2 days were very special because we spent 4 years together in college.
Yeah.
And after all that, you couldn't take out 2 days for me. He said, I understand how important your work is, but he felt very bad because those were and he chose to spend those last 2 days with me and not with his parents. तब जब मयूर गया ना भाई, तो a piece of me broke, and that is when I decided that I will not make anyone else feel that way. So I realized that as much as greatness is important, as much as greatness comes at a cost, it should not come at the cost of your loved ones. वो बाउंड्री ना थोड़ा मेरे लिए डिबेटेबल है कि तुम खुद के हेल्थ को फिर भी कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर सकते हो, क्योंकि मैं कर चुका हूँ इसलिए मैं तो बोलूंगा ऐसे. तुम
करना नहीं चाहिए.
तुम रेवेन्यू को भी कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर सकते हो ग्रेटनेस के चक्कर में, लेकिन अपने जो लव्ड वंस है ना ब्रो, वेरी फ्यू पीपल हैव लव्ड वंस इन लाइफ, एंड तुम अगर उनको लोनली फील कराते हो इन द चक्कर ऑफ ग्रेटनेस, ब्रो, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे यू हैव टू कम बैक टू योर लव्ड वंस एंड यू कांट मेक देम फील दैट वे. तो मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि you should always build systems in such a way, and it's not like I was doing everything productive, by the way. Now the same amount of work the same amount of work is being done. In fact, better work is being done, and yet everything is delegated in such a way that my employees have work-life balance, I have work-life balance, है ना? So I realized that my obsession was leading me to do inefficient tasks. But the moment I disengaged from that obsession, I realized that this task is a bundle of 5 discrete tasks which could be automated in such a way that I just have to do 30-40% of the core work. And then my systems have become more efficient. And even today, I work 7 days a week, but now I work on my YouTube videos for 3 to 4 days a week, and the rest 3 days, I am now working on the courses. I am now working on the podcast, which is more work, right? I'm doing this podcast with you 2 years back. You remember? I did this podcast from my house.
Yeah.
And that was not because of COVID. That was because I just couldn't move out.
Correct.
You asked me to come down to Bangalore so many times, I couldn't come. So this is my definition that you should work towards your work-life balance. Only then at some given point you will reach there. But if you never mindfully work towards it, number one, you will end up doing all inefficient work. And number two, after everything that you've achieved, you will have no one to come back to. And if your loved ones feel sad and lonely in spite of your presence, I don't think greatness is that worth it.
Yeah. I think both of us are figuring it out, but one thing which I'll just double click on is कि बहुत बार ना हम inefficiency, right? बहुत बार because we know कि हमारे तो we have 7 days a week. So sometimes we just end up doing that task in 7 days. But if you push yourself to do the same thing in 5 days, it can be done in 5 days. I'll give you an example. When I got the highest GPA in college, मैं बिल्कुल पढ़ाई नहीं करता था कॉलेज में, but एक जो सेमेस्टर मेरी सबसे ज्यादा GPA आई थी, सबसे ज्यादा मार्क्स आए थे, वो वाला सेमेस्टर था when I had the most amount of work. Because then I had to push myself to be extremely productive. You know, today also a lot of times, because now I'm focusing on other things, Aul को हम बहुत अलग-अलग तरीके से grow कर रहे हैं. We invested in lit school.
Yeah.
That was a big step. Now sometimes I have to be at that meeting, so I'm like, Aul's work has to end at 7 p.m. Not because I want to go and party, but because I have to go and do some other work.
Your mom's birthday?
Your mom's birthday. So it could be anything. It could be more work. It could be you know, something in your personal life. But I think when you push yourself, you do become more efficient. And
Correct.
I think that part I relate with a lot because भाई वो मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा feel करा है. I've genuinely felt it कि यार like efficiency comes when you push yourself.
Correct.
Tell me about your childhood. मतलब ऐसे स्कूल से आने के बाद क्या होता था मतलब
Childhood was too much fun with very less money, basically. Because very less money in the sense, not because my parents were not well off. My mom worked for Oriental Insurance. My dad worked at BSNL. So typical middle class family with the constraints that we usually grow up with. That you can't buy this, you can't buy that, but yes, you can buy this. So all the necessities were taken care of without any lavish holiday or something. What used to bug me a lot is that all my friends during their summer vacations, they used to go to London, Paris, God knows how many fancy destinations. And I never even used to step out of Pune. If I did, I just used to go to my cousin's place in Chennai and play GTA San Andreas for 1.5 months.
Oh, golden days. I mean,
So
GTA was.
so that was my life where my friends were very, very well off and I was not as well off as them. So a lot of things that right now they are a part of my life, back then they were aspiration. Like driving a great car or getting something just because you like it and it's fancy.
Yeah.
And going on an international trip. Dubai was my first trip, bro.
Bildar, your first international trip was with us, no?
Yeah, first international trip.
Bro, that was epic.
So I still remember me and Digvijay just looking at big buildings. We're like, bro, ये तो कितना बड़ा है, bro. So childhood was like that. And but what I love about my childhood is that my parents obsessed over values. They believed in doing the right thing. They made me do the right thing. And they also taught me how not to be affected by other people's lavish life. So although I aspired to have that life, I never envied my friends or I never had this feeling like, oh, you know what, my life is shitty and stuff like that. But after Think School started, I can call myself poor. Because during that time I was cut off. I did not take any money from my parents. And वो काजू बिरयानी वाली story, bro.
Oh, bhai.
So for context, before Think School became what it became, this is before the cred wala video.
Correct.
When Think School had 3,000 subscribers and we were making 30,000 rupees at max. Okay. So during that time, my brother.
As a company, by the way, not even as an individual. So
As a company.
Which
This
means
was this is revenue, not even profits. Okay. So during that time, my brother got detected with an illness, because of which my mom and dad, they had to go and stay at Nani's place. So I was on my own. So what I used to do is I used to order kaju biryani in the morning, split it into 3 halves, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and have the same thing.
Same thing, and you divide into 3 halves.
Correct. And 150 rupees ka kaju biryani hota tha, so I calculated 50 rupees per meal.
Yeah.
Okay. So the joke is, जब मैंने ये स्टोरी सुनाया, जब मैंने ये स्टोरी सुनाया तो आयुष और दिग्विजय सामने बैठे थे, तो आयुष और दिग्विजय ने बोला कि ब्रो 150 रुपए में कितने काजू आते हैं? तो मैंने बोला 4 काजू आते हैं.
ब्रो पता है एक one thing that I've noticed and थोड़ा hard question. You come off as very, very unapproachable in events. Not to me, but like, you know, to somebody who doesn't know you, you come off as very unapproachable.
क्यों ऐसा?
You tell me, why is that?
पहले तू बता.
I mean, I don't know, you, when I look at you, because of course, I've seen you as a third person also from afar. Like, you seem very intimidating.
Okay.
ऐसा डर लगता है भाई, मतलब मैं if I wouldn't know you, मुझे मेरी फटेगी तेरे पास आने से, मतलब मुझे लगा मैं गलत ना बोल दूं भाई कुछ गणेश के सामने ये मतलब you seem very intimidating and I don't know what, but I know you also. You're very warm. You're one of the warmest. Like, you're so caring, extremely caring. We are very close. I know how much you do for people, but you don't come off as warm. Where is the gap?
I don't know, bro, because college time से मेरे को यही बोला जा रहा है कि bro तो बहुत intimidating है. तब तो मैंने कुछ किया भी नहीं था भाई. अभी तो फिर भी I can say, oh, maybe it's because of YouTube, maybe it's because, you know, you feel like this guy is a
4
YouTuber.
million.
Yeah, 4 million वाला thing. But back then तो कुछ भी नहीं कहा था, bro. In fact, I had a backlog. मतलब achievement नाम की कोई चीज ही नहीं थी, but still people used to think that I was intimidating.
I think you're also very direct. Like
maybe
you
that.
don't mask your emotions. I've seen कि you call out great work as great work, you call out bullshit as bullshit. कि भाई तू ये जो कर रहा है, and because I know that even I've shown you, I remember showing you this one video we made at old a 2-year anniversary video. तू देखा and you're like हाँ तो क्या इसका क्या करूँ मैं मतलब I remember like our team and I worked for 2 months on that and then I look back and I'm like यार बात तो ठीक बोल रहे हैं मतलब you know it's a great video and we've gotten a lot of praise for it but the purpose that it was supposed to serve maybe didn't serve that purpose.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was looking at. So maybe honesty is very intimidating, and I felt this with a lot of people because you know, I used to work for this guy called Captain Raghu Raman when I was in Reliance.
Yeah.
And bro, he was very intimidating. And now when I look back as to why he was so intimidating,
He was just honest.
he was just too honest, bro. He was so honest that he would tell you on your face. For example, you know, we had worked on this event called Reliance GCS Connect. It's still online, by the way. And we were supposed to think about a name. So me and my co-mate, we thought about this beautiful name called Meraki.
Okay.
And then we thought Raghu will love it. We went to Raghu and we told him that, sir, we are thinking about a name called Meraki.
Okay.
He's like, get out of the cabin, ask somebody what does Meraki mean. If they don't think they understand the meaning of Meraki, what you've done is a shitty job. And the next time you come to me, do this evaluation and then come to me. And we were like, bro, what is this? We just got roasted. And that was so true. That you don't take something to the president without actually evaluating the idea. And the simple way to evaluate that idea is not to just think about whether it seems awesome in your mind or not, but to actually go and ask a few people, do you even know what Meraki means?
Yeah.
So I think honesty is extremely intimidating. I don't know whether I give out the Raghu vibes or not. I hope I don't because Raghu was too intimidating. But yeah, I think honesty is extremely intimidating and that also pushes off a lot of people who believe in fluff.
Yeah.
Who just expect you to compliment things.
That's true. That's true. I think somehow we live in a world, especially, I mean, a lot of things that the woke part of our society does are actually really good. But there's a part of it that also scares me, which is we don't call out things on the face of it. We have masked words.
Correct.
While I think part of the culture which is being accepting is incredible, which is you should not pass on comments, you should be extremely accepting. But now after that, what you do after accepting is what I feel makes a lot of difference.
Correct.
You know, one thing which, actually it's a great segue to this one question that I really wanted to ask this question. Because both of us run bootstrap companies. And both of us interact with a lot of people who run funded companies.
Correct.
You know, this one guy was super honest to me. He's like, hey bro, you know what the problem is with bootstrap founders? I'm like, what is the problem with bootstrap founders? He's like, bootstrap founders become complacent. Bootstrap founders को ना कोई ऐसा होता नहीं investor जैसा कोई या फिर कोई pressure नहीं होता to grow really fast. And after a point of time, if they're making healthy money because you know profits आ रहे हैं, profit, you know, you can take a share of the profit back home. They feel like कि हो गया मेरा. And a company that could have potentially grown 10 times only grows 2 times because it's a bootstrap company. Whereas a VC funded company has the pressure and diamonds are formed under pressure. And it stayed with me. You know, I kept sort of thinking कि यार, is this person saying the right thing? So do you think that bootstrap companies plateau after a point of time and they don't grow because they're bootstrapped?
Depends on the founder. Now, I know a lot of founders who have become complacent after starting a company, after they've drawn healthy money out of it, because that's their philosophy of life. That they're like, why are we working so hard? We are working so hard so that we can chill in life.
Correct.
And they're chilling in life and they have plateaued. For example, my best friend's father, Atharva's father, he started his company when we were in our 12th standard.
Okay.
Now it's been how many years? I think 7-8 years.
8, huh?
Now he's chilling, bro. You know, once he came back home, because auntie called him and told him that null toota hua hai.
Huh.
He came back from the office. And auntie's like, dude, you're the founder, you're not supposed to come back home for fixing the null, right?
Correct.
And he's like, agar aao de, mi karto. And then he fixed the null. So, Atharva's dad comes back home, plays violin, plays guitar, and he just chills, bro. If at all I aspire to have a life, I aspire to have a life like uncle. So it is his philosophy, which is he wants to build a business so that he can have a healthy life.
But I don't think this is your philosophy.
No, it's not my philosophy. I'm saying different types of founders.
Yeah.
So this is one type of founder.
Correct.
The second type of founders are founders like you and me. We are obsessed with building companies with profits. At the same time, they have to have a sense of greatness. Greatness does not necessarily come with scale. In fact, with scale, a lot of times you tend to compromise on greatness.
Correct.
At the same time, we want to grow very, very steadily. So obsession for growth is there, but it doesn't come at the cost of compromise.
Yeah.
And you know these companies that grow too fast, how many companies you have worked with, I have worked with, today they don't exist.
Correct.
But once they were growing at 10x, 100x, right? So growth, yes, but at what cost? So my philosophy and your philosophy as bootstrap founders, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is growing steadily with a solid foundation. And that foundation takes up a lot of time. For example, I just spoke about delegating my YouTube videos, right?
Correct.
So although a lot of process is delegated, what would a VC founder do? A VC founder would say, get hold of a media team, get hold of a bunch of writers, put them together, ask them to collaborate, ask them to ideate, brainstorm, and just start. Right? But I can't do that, bro. My videos still have to be equally great, if not better. Right? So,
That's
and
true.
it took me how many years? It took me 1.5 years.
And also burn the pocket while doing so.
Yeah. And I'm still comfortable with burning the pocket, but not in compromising. I wish we could just throw money and get great work done.
Yeah.
In fact, you know, Sagar, the vice president of Zerodha, when I was researching about Zerodha, I spoke to Nitin, Nikhil, and all these people. When I spoke to Sagar, I asked him, what is so special about Zerodha's software that other people are not able to replicate? I mean, they've got 500 crores in funding, bro.
More
Sagar-
actually now though.
Sagar told me, bro, there are some things that you can't throw money and get. One of those things is a great software. A great software takes time. Zerodha is built on a very strong foundation of a great software because they obsessed not on growth, but on building that software. If I ever build a company that reaches 1,000 crores, I want it to be like Zerodha, built on a very solid foundation.
I think somebody said this, that these guys think a lot before putting in any new feature.
Correct.
Right? They don't just put any feature just because it's trending. They
Correct.
give a lot of thought. And I think when you have a lot of money, you don't give a lot of thought.
Correct.
You know, because you can do it. And there's a very interesting thing which I have this very, very amazing mentor in my life. He's like, just because you can do something does not mean you should do it.
Correct.
The stage of life you're at right now, Owl will have plenty of things that you can do, but you shouldn't do it. And I think we fell into this trap where we ended up offering too many services. We're not doing now. We've really condensed ourselves to a few services that we do really, really well. And I think this applies for everything. This applies for product development. This applies for, we were discussing Apple, right? Apple still has a handful of products,
Correct.
but one of the most impactful companies.
Yeah. So you have to choose your philosophy, whether you want to build a Samsung or you want to build an Apple. Both of them are right. It's not like one philosophy is right and the other philosophy is wrong. It's just that I believe that there are different species of founders, right? Although we might look like the same humans and same founders, I think there are different species of sponsors. Some choose to be growth oriented, some choose to be greatness oriented,
Yeah.
and some just choose to be life oriented, like Ajay uncle, who prioritizes life over everything else.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I think of course you're right. It really depends upon the type of founders more than it being a bootstrap company and I think patience is extremely important. I
Correct.
think the VC world, and probably we are not even the right people to say it, right? Because we have not seen that word. But from what it looks like when we have talked to people, founders, investors, and read the news, it feels like they have lost patience.
Correct.
And great companies, and we haven't built a great company yet, but we've spoken to a lot of people who have built great companies. I think patience is a very, very big thing in most of them.
Correct.
It's pretty incredible.
And people who build like 1,000 crore companies, you go and talk to them, they are pretty chill, bro.
Yeah.
They are not obsessing over growth.
Super humble.
Super humble, super chill, and very focused on the process.
Yeah.
That, okay, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? It's about building the foundation better. That I think changes everything, bro.
You know, one thing that I see about you is that it's so you're very trustworthy. I don't know. You, whenever you say something, right? तो कुछ भी बोलेगा ना वो bullshit भी होगा, मैं मान लूंगा. तो मुझे झूठ बोल देगा, मैं फिर भी मान लूंगा. आयुष तूने ब्लैक जैकेट पहनी है, ब्लू नहीं पहनी है, मान लूंगा. You have so much conviction. I think about it a lot. I'm like, yaar, I need this conviction. Bro, whenever you tell me an idea, a lot of times I don't even like the idea. I'm like, अच्छा लग रहा है पर सुनने में. Why? How do you have so much conviction and that leads to trust? Why is it the case?
Bro, I think it's just honesty, bro. And you know for a fact that, I will come and tell you a great idea. The next day, I will only come and tell you, bro, I don't think it's a great idea.
It gave me so much joy, and I want to end it with a slightly larger, more philosophical question. Something which I wonder a lot, and I don't think I have been able to give an honest answer about this to myself either. Which is, I know you have made a good amount of money, but what if I give you so much money that you never have to forget thinking? Like you don't even, दिमाग से money ही निकल गया, but you still run Think School. I'm not saying you're going to run something else. Think School में would you do something differently?
Yes.
What would you do?
I would start a physical business school. मजा आ जाएगा, bro. Imagine like 100 kids and you can teach them whatever you want. And you get them to go out and study MACD, study retail stores, study pan wale ka business and understand business from its core. If somebody gives me like 200, 300 crores, I would start a physical B school. बहुत मजा आएगा, bro.
Yeah. I think you really, I've seen you with kids, I've seen you with students. The kind of joy it brings you is incredible.
Yeah.
Like I've not seen you that happy with, like anywhere else, like as happy as you
Nowhere,
are
bro, nowhere.
just teaching.
If at all there is something that gives me more happiness than making YouTube videos, I think it would be to be with the kids and teaching something in a classroom. Because I've seen that expression on their faces when they
Learn
something really crazy. And I have got that experience from my teachers like Ketan sir, who used to teach me physics back then. Bro, Ketan sir was such a genius. The moment he used to walk out of the classroom after a 3-hour lecture, we used to ponder over things, and when we used to go back home in a bus, we used to discuss different things in physics as to how things could actually shape up if done differently. So, if you could just show somebody, if you could just inculcate that thought into the minds of the students, I think that's very powerful.
Yeah.
And, I still remember, you remember that Zepto wala thing? When we were discussing how will Zepto become profitable.
Correct.
And you had just done a podcast with the founder.
Yes.
And that Zepto wala calculation was there on my whiteboard for about 30 days.
Okay.
And one fine day I was walking in, and on the 31st day, I figured out how Zepto could become profitable.
Correct.
That is when the AOV reaches more than
500-600, yeah.
Yeah, it was 560 ऐसा कुछ तो था.
हाँ, मुझे याद हमने call पे discuss करा था. You called me and yeah.
Or we said if the margins will increase.
Correct.
Okay, अपन ने.
Which is instead of selling groceries, they sell slightly high margin products.
Correct. So the moment we started decoding that and then we found the answer, I called my entire team up and I explained that concept to them. I called my friends, got them on a Zoom call, and I explained to them how Zepto will become profitable, how Dunzo could become profitable.
Yeah.
And bro, the look on their face was just crazy. They had nothing to do
Incredible.
with business.
Yeah.
But it was that amazing feeling. In fact, when I told you about it and you were also like, whoa, bro, I never thought about it.
I was, because I remember when we discussed on the very first call, we were very clear कि नहीं, ये तो नहीं हो सकता.
Correct.
It's not a viable model. And then suddenly you're like, oh, this is like this could very well be
The next DMart.
the next DMart.
So when it comes to that calculation and then you teach that to somebody and those kids get this great feeling and then they go back home
Yeah.
and then they tell their parents and they tell everybody about what they learned, that joy of giving other people the joy of learning is something that I would do, bro. I just wish at some given point in time we actually end up doing that. Building a physical B school.
Bro, that's so nice. I think that gives me a lot of joy as well. And at some point, अगर कभी वो कर लिया, it'll
मजा आ
be
जाएगा.
It'll be
इनफैक्ट
epic.
यू नो फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम के लोग बहुत बात करते हैं ना, मेरे लिए फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम तब रहेगा जब मैं ये कर सकता हूँ.
Hmm.
I'm actually working towards that, where I don't have to be restricted by what should make me money. I want to be driven by only one thing, that is the obsession to give people a great learning experience.
Yeah.
That is the reason why if you look at Think School videos, they are just about giving that experience of
Correct.
great joy and great motivation when you look at a boring conceptual case study.
Yeah,
They try to
dude.
make it as interesting as possible.
Because these are not topics which are conventionally interesting. Like they are topics which people used to run away from, but
Correct.
suddenly now they're interesting.
Yeah. So, and you know, you remember I showed you this LinkedIn post in the morning.
हाँ, the kid who was making notes, वो जो
Notes.
भाई somebody made like ऐसे 2 पन्नों के पूरे notes from one of your videos. यार वो impact है यार. I think that is ground level impact which
तो जब मैं देखता हूँ ना कि बच्चे नोट्स बना रहे हैं, उसको लिंक्डइन पे डाल रहे हैं, देयर इज अ स्टूडेंट हु गॉट सिलेक्टेड इनटू IIM Bangalore. So I was doing the market research. I was like, dude, what got you into IIM Bangalore? How did Think School play an important role? Because even I didn't know that. And then he sent me photos of 2 notebooks which were full of Think School notes. Full of Think School notes. Today he's in IIM Bangalore, so he's obviously a star kid. But before he got into IIM Bangalore, if somebody is taking notes out of a Think School video, what could be more powerful than that?
that's true.
So वही है bro. That I'm doing it at a very micro level, but like you said, if someday if I make a lot of money,
We're not great right now, but I think this obsession, I have a lot of self-belief and I have a lot of belief in you also. कि bro कुछ तो कर लेंगे यार, मतलब something will come out of this.
है ना?
Yeah. What an episode, bro. Thank you, MG, for sponsoring this episode and making it possible.
Thank you MG. This car has been extremely smooth. It's been a great ride.
Genuinely good. Thanks, man. चलो अब बर्गर खाने जाते हैं.
Yes.